Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation inaugurates a Tour Nigeria food court in Calabar. Governor Ben Ayade co-opt organized labor to checkmate forest exploitation. Plus, Senate resolved to appeal the ruling Federal High Court Umayyad over Section 84, subsection 12 of newly amended Electoral Act. Details shortly. Good evening. Welcome to NTA News at 7. I am Erika Ivi. Now the news in details. The Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation is sustaining collaboration with committed stakeholders in boosting tourism development at the grassroots. Director General, Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC, Folorunsho Shaw Koka stated these while inaugurating Tour Nigerian food courts in Calabar, Cross River State. Odialeño has details.
Cross River State, no doubt, has been acknowledged globally as tourism destination in Nigeria. Owing to these facts, the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation says it will leave no stone unturned to ensure tourism industry is encouraged at the grassroots levels. To further boost the tourism artifacts in the Slave Trade Museum at the Marina Resort Calabar, a food court was inaugurated as a strategy to increase and encourage tourism industry in the state. The Director General, Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, Folorunsho Koka, while inaugurating the food court, emphasized the need for proper collaboration with patience and consistency for the growth of tourism businesses at all levels.
If we look at the growth of the creative industry, if we harness that growth or we hang on to that growth to grow the other parts of the tourism economy, it's about creating the synergies between the assets we have to make the overall result a lot bigger than the individual components can do on their own.
But what is the benefit of the Tour Nigerian food court to the tourism sector?
What the NCDC has done here today has helped our tourism space. It has also improved standards and efficiencies of local business and entrepreneurs in this space at the marina. And this drives disposable income. It allows these people to earn more and take care of their families. All in all, it makes the space, our community, better.
The Director General, who took time to inspect some cuisine and artifacts at the resort, assured that the partnership will continue with improved innovation and technology. In Calabar, Odialeño, NTA News.
Broadcasting over the years is saddled with the responsibility of informing, educating, and entertaining the public. Against this background, the team of broadcasters under the aegis of on-air personalities Cross River State, led by their leader, Awade Friday, visited the management of Nta Calabar and solicited synergy in publicizing the activities. Correspondent has details. The On-Air Personalities Guild of Cross River State is an association of radio and television presenters in the states whose objective is to foster unity among media organizations through synergy to achieve effective dissemination of information for the benefit of the public. The leader of the team, Awade Friday, while in Nta Calabar, solicited collaboration for a better service delivery.
We believe that as people that work in different stations, we do the same thing. So there need to be some sort of synergy amongst us. All right, so that was why we came up with that idea to see how we can put ourselves together, train ourselves, retrain ourselves, promote ourselves, and also foster that unity that we're supposed to see.
Responding, the general manager of Nta Calabar, Mr. Samuel Alude, promised to synergize with the association in order to realize its aims and objectives for the development of the society.
If we are united, we'll go a long way in doing a lot of things. And I want to thank you for making that known. That if there is a deal in a station, and you feel that it can be beneficial to another station, you don't monopolize it. Because you never can say, it will turn around to you too. So I want you to keep on the spirit. Like your motto say, commercial break. The convergence is making it better. And when we converge as an organization, it will make broadcasting better for everybody.
The Guild of On-Air Personalities has the vision of bringing about developments in Cross River State and beyond. In Calabar, Erika Ivy, NTA News. Away from that, poised to facilitate immediate functionality of the abandoned NTA Channel 35 Eket Community Station, the member representing Eket Esereket Ibiono Ona Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Pat Ifond, recently led a technical team from the NTA headquarters on a facility and equipment tour of the station. This is in compliance to the 3 weeks directives of the Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed to visit the facility for needs assessment that will aid in the summation of equipment cost toward the revival of the abandoned television station after an advocacy visit by the Member of Parliament. Informer Igoje reports.
No acting power to provide for, and this flash trap, it has been removed, is not there.
The Chief Engineer Transmitter, NTA Headquarters, Abraham Kadung there, representing Executive Director Engineering, conducting the team to assess what is left of the NTA Channel 35 Eket, which has never been on air since its establishment by the federal government.
This station has been off air for a very long time, and so there have been a lot of breakdown and decay, and to some extent vandalization of critical equipment. We have taken records with the zeal and commitment of the honorable member and his people. I think this problem, I can't say it's a problem anymore.
Encouraged by the commitment of the NTA leadership to reposition broadcasting and poised to ensure the functionality of the station, the member representing Eket Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Pat Ifon, reiterates his resolve to revive the NTA Channel 35 Eket Community Station.
I think it's a worthwhile venture because information dissemination is important in governance, good governance. For citizens to get to know what government is doing and to get to ask questions, for new information about everything in life.
Other stakeholders also desire to see the station fulfill the purpose for which it was established years ago.
It's an opportunity for us to have an institution of this nature in our area. Therefore, allowing it to rot off like this is not something that's good for anyone to hear or see.
We have been so worrisome that for quite some years that this project was brought here, it wasn't functional, and it gave us a whole lot of concern, especially that as a media person I know this would have helped to bring government nearer to the people by the way of information dissemination and social mobilization.
Recognizing the place of information dissemination, especially in the democratic setting, and acknowledging the power of the television, stakeholders from the Eket Federal Constituency assure of their commitment to resuscitating the NTA Eket. This assurance has raised a glimpse of hope among the host community as they are already anticipating positive development, especially job creation and other opportunities. From NTA Channel 35 Eket, Akwa Ibom State, Ifoma Ihuchi, NTA News.
And moving on, supporting the achievement of Sustainable Development Goal 6, water and sanitation for all by 2030. The need for proper management of underground water to make it safe for drinking will go a long way to promote a healthy environment. Stakeholders in Calabar said these while highlighting the theme of 2022 World Water Day. Udaritan reports.
Water is essential for life and health. Therefore, supplying a safe drinking water for survival is of critical importance.
Water is necessary for the body to maintain its vitality and function. And of course, when we talk about public health in general, so water from all spheres of life can be described as the giver of life itself. The more the quality of water, the better the quality of life.
Access to potable and safe water is very necessary for us as humans to exist and live healthy.
Research indicates that over 90% of the world's population depends on groundwater for drinking, watering of plants, and sustenance of the ecosystem. However, drilling of borehole from underground water, thereby making it accessible, explains the theme for the 2022 World Water Day, which is groundwater, making the invisible visible. Even as stakeholders in Calabar call for proper documentation of borehole drillers to check their operations if groundwater must be harnessed.
We need to respect our water. We need to be conscious of our borehole drillers. The water can be compromised, contaminated, and yet as clean as ever. So we must begin to know that when you drill borehole, it is important to site your borehole as you site every other thing in the house.
World Water Day, celebrated every year, is focusing on importance of water and the role stakeholders play in ensuring water resources are managed. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade has co-opted leadership of organized labor to assist the government to halt illegal logging and trans-boundary movement of timber to save the Cross River rainforest from extinction. The report is here presented from our studio.
Governor Ben Ayade announced this over the weekend at an interactive meeting held with leaders of organized labor in his office in Calabar. Ayade, who lamented that government's response to halt the drift has not yielded satisfactory results, expressed optimism that organized labor, with its commitment, integrity, and outreach in the state, is better placed to complement efforts aimed at tracking down such economic saboteurs. The governor directed that this development and additional responsibility placed on labor leaders should be communicated to the State Forestry Commission, local government, chairman, and security operatives across the state. It could be recalled that Cross River State, which holds over 58% of the last remaining tropical rainforest in Nigeria, is at the verge of losing such internationally recognized status quo to wanton destruction and dissemination of its forest potentials. The co-option of leadership of organized labor is government's attempt to strengthen its response to save its rainforest.
You're watching news reaching you from the studio of NTA Calabar. You can also watch these newscasts from our YouTube channel at YouTube/NTA Calabar. More news when we return. Don't go away. Welcome back to the rest of the bulletin. Some Nigerians, irrespective of religion, are coming together to adopt new strategies to fight corruption in all sectors. Coming under the Interfaith Coalition Against Corruption in Nigeria, the religious leaders are engaging members of the formal and non-formal sectors in the South-South on accountability and transparency. Clement Parikui reports.
Whenever the issue of corruption comes up, fingers are often pointed at those in the public and political offices, with less attention given to the formal and non-formal sectors. Considering that corruption permeates all facets of the economy, religious leaders under the Interfaith Coalition Against Corruption in Nigeria are changing the narrative through the engagement of Nigerians in the formal and non-formal sectors. The leaders believe that if the federal government's effort to minimize corruption in the country must make the desired impact, there is need to promote accountability and anti-corruption through behavioral change approach among the citizens, irrespective of profession.
It's not only when cripples rise up and walk as a miracle. All clergy, I challenge you today to perform another miracle of raising men and women of integrity and supplying them to the corridors of power who will in turn be agents of change in our society.
So we need to go back to basics. When we started this project, it was combating corruption through interfaith platform. So we started with it, and now we are looking at promoting accountability and transparency through behavioral change.
Individual character has a lot of role to play in the fight against corruption.
The engagement is being taken to various parts of the country, including Southwest, North Central, and this Activity 17 is the second to be held in Akwa Ibom State, aside from other states in South Nigeria. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
The Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAAC, has shared a total of 590.546 billion naira as revenue accrue in February 2022 Federation account revenue to the federal government, states, and local government councils. The report is hereby presented from our studio. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of a virtual meeting of the Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAAC, for March 2022. The distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 337.432 billion naira, distributable value added tax VAT revenue of 165.635 billion naira, and excess bank charges of 7.479 billion naira, and non-mineral revenue of 80 billion naira. The communique confirmed that the sum of 5.123 billion naira allocation to NEDC and 7.115 billion naira cost of collection were deducted from the 177.873 billion naira gross value added tax VAT revenue, resulting in the distributable value added tax VAT revenue of 165.635 billion naira. A statement by Henshaw Ogumbike, Director Information, Press and Public Relations, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, show that in February, petroleum profits tax (PPT) increased significantly, while oil and gas royalties increased marginally. Import and excise duties, companies' income tax (CIT), and value-added tax VAT recorded considerable decrease. The balance in the excess crude account (ECA) stands at $35.371 million. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed satisfaction with the effort of the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, towards making the Lekki Deep Sea Port reality, and directed him to consult and bring up a memorandum to the Federal Executive Council, FCE, to link the facility with the railway network. The President, while inspecting work done at the first deep sea port in Lagos, received assurances that the port, which has a concession period of 45 years and seats in a land area of 90 hectares will be completed on schedule by September. More news after these timeouts. Don't go away. Glad you're still been there. Senate has resolved to appeal the ruling of the Federal High Court Omaya, which nullifies Section 84, subsection 12 of the newly amended Electoral Act. This is sequel to a motion sponsored by 81 senators, which explained that the judgment of the court, which describes Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act as inconsistent with some section of the 1999 Constitution, is incorrect. The legislators were worried that the judgment, if left unattended to, could become a big setback to the functions of the National Assembly.
Letting the judgment to go without concern will become a precedent on which any person could go to the court and obtain judgment to ridicule the good intentions of the National Assembly as an institution.
I want to urge that without much ado, I invite and request humbly that my colleagues do consider this motion as submitted.
Accordingly, Senate resolves to appeal the judgment in suit marked FHC UMC CS 26/2022 for the court to set aside the judgment.
Those in favor that this prayer, the only single prayer as amended, those in favor of the prayer as amended, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Senate has confirmed 7 nominees for appointment as members of the Monitoring Policy Committee in the Central Bank of Nigeria. On politics now, the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Governors Forum, and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwa, has urged PDP supporters to play less on zoning arrangements, but rather concentrate on how to win the 2023 general election. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that he was speaking at a meeting with former presiding officers of the state assemblies in House of Representatives in Abuja. In a related development, the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has fixed the party's national convention for March 30th, 2022. The publicity secretary of the caretaker committee of the party, Abbo Major, discussed these at a media briefing in Abuja. Still on politics, the National Assembly caucus of the All Progressives Congress APC is confident that the successful conduct of Saturday convention of the party will resolve the current challenges facing the party. This optimism was expressed when some APC chairmanship aspirants visited Senate and House of Representatives. Former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, was one of the visitors. Similarly, Senator Mohammed Sani Musa also visited the House of Representatives to solicit support of members. The APC convention is slated for Saturday, 26 March 2022 in Abuja. With that reports, we have come to the end of the news tonight. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. The Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation has inaugurated a Tour Nigeria food court to boost tourism development at the grassroots in the state. The state governor Ben Ayade has co-opted leadership of organized labor to aid the state government halt illegal logging and trans-boundary movement of timber to save cross-river rainforest from extinction. It was also in the news that the Senate has resolved to appeal the ruling of the Federal High Court, Umuahia, which nullifies Section 84, subsection 12 of the newly amended Electoral Act. That is the news. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Good night.